Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Khalid Makobirang from Group 2, and I'm a group with Ahmad Shafiq and Priya Adil. We will present about University Library Analysis.
In this slide, we talk about member of library. In member of library, there is name, major, gender, address, ID member, and validity period. For example, Priya Adil Laksana Irawan. Priya Adil Laksana Irawan has name 2120010116. The major, TI, gender male, address Kerinci Raya Street, ID member 2501, and the validity period until 12th of January of 2025.
And the second table is book data table. And the content of book data table is book code, title, author, publisher, publication year, and price of book. And the Arti Cinta book have book code AAA, and the author is Yudhistira, and the publisher is Gramedia. And then publication year Arti Cinta book on January 1st, 1998. And then the price of book is 82,000 rupiah.
On the borrow book table, we got ID borrow, ID member, book code, borrow date, written date, and officer. For the example of the case, we want to borrow the book. So first we have to check the ID borrow. For example, we got B01, and the ID member, my ID member is, for example, 2505, and the book code that I was borrowed is AAA, and I was borrowing the book at 1st January 2001, and I must return the book on February 1st, 2001. And the officer that served me is Manto.
This slide is showing about written book. In written book, there is ID written, ID borrow, written date actual, fine per day, and the officer. For example, is ID written R01 and the ID borrow is B01. The written date is 1st February of 2021. The written date actual is 1st February of 2021. Fine per day of the book is 32,000 and the officer is Manto.
On our project, we have relationship from one table to other table, and we have three relationship. And the first is book code from book data table have relationship with book code from borrow book table. And the second relationship, we have ID member from member of library table have relationship with ID member from borrow book table. And the last relationship, we have ID borrow from borrow book table have relationship with ID borrow from written book table.
Total fine for late collection, for example, is R02. The ID borrow is B02. He must to return the book at 1st of February 2021, but he returned the book at 9 February 2021. The fine per day of the book is 27,000. So the total borrow days that he late is 8 days. So the total fine is 27,000 rupiah multiply 8. So the total fine that he must to pay is 216,000 rupiah. This slide is show about pivot chart table of borrow book service. In this table show that Jajang serves 17 times in 30 days. Then Manto serves 13 times in 30 days. So Jajang serves more than Manto. This slide is showing pivot chart table about written book service. In this table, there is Jajang and Manto. Jajang serves 11 times in 30 days. Then Manto serves 19 times in 30 days. So Manto serves more than Jajang in 30 days.
Active member on the pivot chart. As we can see, we have the total of 22 members. Amongst the other members, Carlos Imam has the most loan per month. He loaned 3 books per month.
In this slide, show pivot chart, and then pivot chart in this situation have function. The function of pivot chart in this situation to show which student who often and rarely borrow books. And then the student who often borrows book is Carlos Iman. He has borrowed book at 3 times.
Pivot chart table of loan list. In this table, show us about book that a member borrow. First, ada Cahaya, borrow at 3 times. Arti Cinta 6 times. Ayam dan Angsa 4 times. Bulan Purnama 2 times. Dia Sempurna 2 times. Masa Datang 3 times. Pelangi 5 times. Teknologi Terkini 2 times. And Turun Gurun 3 times. So, the most book that member borrow is Arti Cinta and Pelangi and Ayam dan Angsa.
And then we have slide what if analysis, but we using data table for buying Arti Cinta book. And then in this situation, we want to compare Arti Cinta book price from different vendor. There is vendor A, B, and C. Book price from vendor A is 82,000 rupiah, and then from vendor B 80,000 rupiah, and from vendor C 85,000 rupiah. And next, we have to choose a vendor who sells books at the lowest price. And in this situation, we want to buying Arti Cinta book, and we want to buying 12 Arti Cinta book. So we must compare price from 3 vendor. From vendor A, if we want to buy 12 Arti Cinta book, the price is 994,000 rupiah. And from vendor B, the price is 970,000 rupiah. And the last, from vendor C, the price is 1,030,000 rupiah. So we choose the lowest price is vendor B, because price from vendor B is lowest price than vendor A and vendor C. So using data table can help us to choose the lowest price from different vendor.
The data table buying Ayam dan Angsa book. As we can see, for the book price itself, on vendor A it costs 63,000 rupiah, and on vendor B it costs 68,000 rupiah, and on vendor C it costs 65,000 rupiah. For the calculation, for example, we want to buy on vendor A for 6 total book. So the total price will be 378,000 rupiah plus the shipping cost equals the total expense for 388,000 rupiah. For another example, we want to buy 3 books on vendor A. It will cost 199,000 rupiah, and on vendor B it will cost 214,000 rupiah, and on vendor C it will cost 205,000 rupiah.
Data table of buying Pelangi book. If we use vendor A, the price of book Pelangi is 73,000 rupiah. Vendor B 75,000 rupiah, and vendor C 70,000 rupiah. And the calculation is if the total book is 9, so the total price of book is 657,000 rupiah. The shipping cost is 10,000 rupiah, so the total expense is 667,000 rupiah. So the vendor that we want to use is C, because C is the most cheap than the other vendor. If we use C, the vendor C, 3 book is cost 220,000 rupiah. If we buy 6 book, we spend 430,000 rupiah. If 9 book, is the total is 640,000 rupiah. If 12 book, the total that we cost is 850,000 rupiah.
Function Excel implementation. We use multiply. We use multiply function to calculate fine per day and total borrow days. To get the result of the total fine, the formula we use is written book fine per day multiplied by written book on total borrow days. Second function we use is that if. We use the if function for showing the total borrow days by using that if function to find out the difference between the written date and the actual written date. The formula we use is equals that if written book on written book, name written date, written book, and written date actual. And the last function we use is what if using data table. On this case, we use data table function because we want to compare which book with the best price with the 3 best books from different vendor. The formula we use, for example, is table B7 semicolon B8.